Alright, so if you're like me and you're more into the X-T series than the XH one, then I assume that you're waiting for the X-T5 to be announced. So while we are waiting for it to be released, in this video we're going to talk about everything that we know so far about the X-T5. Alright, so first let's talk about the body of the X-T5. The X-T5 should have a really similar body to the X-T4 with all the dials that at least I personally love and I kind of miss in the XH2 and XH2S design. So be assured that you will be able to control your ISO, shutter speed, exposure compensation on the top of the X-T5, like you can do on the X-T4 or X-T3 or any X-T camera. If we now talk about the sensor of the X-T5, well, the sensor will basically share a lot of features with the one in the XH2. Be careful, not in the XH2S, but the XH2 sensor. This sensor is supposed to be 40 megapixel sensor with 13 stop of dynamic range, have a base ISO of 125 instead of 160 like we can see on the X-T4, and should also feature 7 stop of in-body image stabilization like in the XH2S. This is one of the aspects that people are waiting the most about the X-T5 and the XH2, which is the higher resolution sensor that has basically been teased since the announcement of the new lenses, the 18, 23 and 33mm f1.4 that can support this 40 megapixel. Alright, so moving on to video capabilities. The X-T5 should have basically the same capabilities as the XH2, providing 8K 30 frames per second or 4K up to 60 frames per second. So if you're in need of 4K or 6K 120p, then you will have to go for the XH2S. However, the X-T5 will provide 8K capabilities, so depending on your need, you might want to go for either the XH2S if you need a higher frame per second, or the XH2 or X-T5 depending on whether you want that XH2 feeling with the analog display, or the X-T5 design and body with all those dials. One important point to notice though is that the X-T5 would most likely not feature a battery grip. Now this is not a big deal for most of us because we don't need the battery grip, but for professionals who actually need their camera to last for a long time, right, and don't want to go through changing their battery all the time, not having a battery grip could be an argument for not purchasing the X-T5. So depending on your needs and depending on how you use your camera, you might want to consider that and purchase an XH2 instead. Alright, so when it comes to the price of the X-T5, well, we don't have information about it yet, but I think that it will be around the same price as the XH2, which should be around the $2,000 mark. So expect it to be around that price. When it comes to the release date of the X-T5, well, we don't have information yet, but I would assume that for its next summit, not the one in September, but the one in maybe May 2023, they might announce the X-T5 at that time to make sure that they have enough time to promote and space out the release of the XH2S, the XH2, and after that the X-T5. There's nothing confirmed yet about this, but that's my expectation. So hopefully, we will see the X-T5 in May 2023. Alright, so that's it. That's pretty much everything that we know about the X-T5 at the moment. And if you're thinking about buying an XH2S, you might want to check this video right here, where I tell you why I believe that for most people, the X-T4 is a better buy. See you there.